when you really extend yourself to help people, then people want to naturally help you.
This is Don't Fear Grit with Rob Taormina. Marketing strategies and advertising technologies to help you build a better business.
Hey guys, welcome back. In this episode, we're going to be featuring someone who is an expert in the insurance industry, and I'm going to get right to it and invite Jen to the stage. Jen, thanks for coming out.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you coming out. Now, I learned a little bit about you already, so I'm going to give a little context before I shoot it over to you. You are literally someone who wears a lot of hats. You are everywhere, and you actually have a lot of big roles, though. So you give yourself a lot of responsibility. You're really ambitious, and I have a feeling that if I asked anyone, hey, do you know Jen? Everyone would be like, yes, I do. So is that you? And if you could just tell the audience real quick, what's your name? What's the name of your main business? And then we'll get into all your other things a little bit later on.
Sure. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Jennifer O'Brien. I am a State Farm agent right here in Smithtown, and local resident as well. Graduated from Smithtown High School. It's amazing to have a business in the area. I'm also a mom of 3. I have twin girls and a little boy. But in addition to being a small business owner, I'm very involved in the community, give back, fundraising efforts. I am on the board of directors of the Smithtown Chamber of Commerce. Also help with their young professionals group in organizing all their events. In addition, I am the executive director of the Hot Pod chapter of the Smithtown Children Foundation, one of the most rewarding jobs ever. And then I also help a lot in the school district. I'm on the PTA board, class mom, and anytime that anyone's looking for a volunteer, I have my hand raised because that's how I get to go out, meet people, and build relationships. So it's really homogeneous. I'm always running around, as you could imagine, but
Wow.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Wow. All right. So the most important question, where do you find time to breathe and eat?
Right, exactly. the main question I get asked from everyone is,
Yeah.
do you ever sleep? I probably get asked that about a dozen times a week.
Yeah.
And I do sleep. My sleep is very important to me.
Okay.
That's probably why I won't have another child. If not, I would have a dozen.
Yeah,
because I love kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, sleep.
Wow.
And then also exercise.
Yeah.
I'm a big exercise person. I have the Peloton. I'm a big Peloton fan.
What?
So I make sure that every morning, no matter what, I get my exercise in.
Wow. So if there's
that's
anyone out
important.
there who ever leans on the excuse, I don't have time, it's a bunch of nonsense. Just literally just follow you and we can make everyone feel guilty about saying that because you are literally proving everyone wrong. You're finding time.
Right, exactly. I'm a big organizer. I'm big on schedule and planning. So if I don't have, I'm kind of like a doctor. I always have almost 3 things going on at the same time. If I don't, then I'm creating 3 things to do.
Oh
so
my gosh.
I'm constantly finding ways to build up my schedule. Otherwise I get paranoid, nervous when I don't have a lot going on.
Yeah.
So,
you need to be busy.
I need to be busy. and that's really where I get my drive from, for sure.
That's
as well.
incredible. So, normally people would look at you and hear this story and be like, oh, she's spreading herself way too thin. But I know some of the organizations and businesses that you're a part of, they're all doing really, really well.
Absolutely.
So clearly, you're not sacrificing quality. What's your secret?
Yeah, I think just being present where you are. If you're somewhere, show up. Don't hide behind. Don't be on your phone. Don't be distracted. If you're going to be somewhere at their time, make it valuable. Meet people, form the relationships, listen to people. I'm very big on coaching my team. My State Farm agency is truly like my 4th child. It means everything to me, and our success means everything as well.
Sure.
But with everything, it's, hard work, time, but the time management is huge as well. And we make it fun. I make it fun. I make sure I'm having fun in what I'm doing, and because that's what attracts other people.
Yes.
We want to be fun, vibrant, and energetic.
A good culture, work culture, right?
Absolutely. And we try to spread that.
That's incredible. So you are from the area. A lot of people know you, so you've got a lot of really great relationships. Let's talk about your business, your primary pipeline.
Yes.
We've got so much we could talk about. We're gonna have to invite you back a bunch of times, but your primary pipeline, which is your insurance company that you're a part of here. Tell us a little bit about some of the type of people that you're able to help.
Sure. Well, right now we have about 3,000 families that we insure.
Wait a minute, time out. Hold on. Let's just talk about this number for a second. You just said 3,000?
Yes. So we are a pretty successful agency. We're one of the fastest growing
3,000
families.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
I did not expect you to say this because I got to be honest. Like, I've talked with several other agency owners, and I have not met another one that has a book of business like yours that quickly.
Yeah, no, we've been very fortunate, but it's from the hustle. It really is. I mean, I walked into being a State Farm agency owner from a different industry. I was in corporate cosmetics for about 15 years. Always commuted to the city, long days, always traveled a lot. And this opportunity kind of fell on my lap, and I decided, hey, why not? I know that in my heart of hearts, I'm a hard worker, and if other people could figure it out,
you can do it.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So, the first year was kind of like having a new baby. You don't know what's going on. You're just trying everything to see what sticks.
Yep.
But we had an extremely successful first year.
Wow.
We had even a better second year. I did take over an existing book of business.
Sure.
In Smithtown. So that was, a nice base there. But we're growing heavily. We're one of the top agents in the territory.
Wow.
And actually, I was out of all the agents in the Northeast, I was just asked to speak on stage in front of, a few hundred agents, which truly is an honor because what we're doing and how we're growing the business is atypical because we're really growing the business through the core of relationships, community, but we're really trying to help our local families. Back in the day when I was in the cosmetic industry, what was important to me, I went to FIT, so I was always into clothes, fashion, makeup, but now, what's important to me being a mom, I'm constantly worrying, I'm constantly planning, so now I could do that for other local families as well, making sure that they have the proper coverages in place, God forbid in their worst possible day of a house fire or a horrible car accident or, God forbid the worst, loss of of a spouse, of a significant other. We want to make sure that they're properly protected, have the right coverages in place. Because so often people just pay their insurance bill and never really look to see, did it increase over the years? Do I have the right coverages? What do these coverages even mean?
Yes.
I mean, prior to being a State Farm agent, I was so guilty of that because you just assume, and nobody ever.
No one is an expert in insurance.
No.
At least the average, resident or homeowner or whatever, they're not. They just know I need insurance.
Exactly.
That's all. And that's the extent of their knowledge.
Right.
And they really lean on the expertise of the people like yourself. So it seems like you've really fully invested yourself into really learning your craft, learning what's available, learning how to help people.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
It is great. I'm really so thankful for this opportunity, and I kind of really made it my own. Like what I know well is I'm a networker, so by default. So I'm always networking, always building relationships, and we're making insurance fun. We're very engaged on social media. We're always doing fun, out of the box things to engage with people, draw attention. And just showing up, being where people are, and giving back. We do a ton of give back through fundraising efforts, charities, donating my time or whether my team's. But it's really been great. But with everything, there's a lot of hard work behind that.
Sure.
The minute you take your eye off the ball or eye off the prize, it's the days go into the weeks, flow into the months, and then it's too late to catch up. So really every day for myself and my team, I have about 5 people now.
Wow.
Where every day's hustle. Every day the clock, it goes back to 0. And if we don't hit our goals for that day, we have to work even harder tomorrow.
Being a business owner doesn't mean life gets easier. In fact, I actually think it gets harder.
Absolutely.
You better love what you're about to go into, and being prepared to work that extra hour because it's not a 9 to 5.
Exactly, and you have to be so passionate about it. It's really the passion and the drive. You have to find, what motivates you at the end of the day.
Now, a lot of business owners, when they open up shop, and whether it be a location-based business or even a digital type of a company, people think that by default of starting a business will come. Right. It doesn't work that way at
Not
all,
at all.
right?
I've never got to work with a line out the door. And if someone ever actually comes looking for life insurance, it's
Yeah.
usually because they're sick. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you didn't mention that you're terminally ill.
Right.
Or
Yeah,
if they call
yeah.
us for car insurance, it's usually because
They
they're
already got into an
not-
accident.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have a license, or you just got.
And at that point, it's too late.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So no, it takes
Yeah.
going out, but that's why we're trying to find and build relationships with new customers
Sure.
in such unique ways. Because if you're like, hey, you want to auto quote?
Mm-hmm.
No, but
Right.
here, even today I have one of my team members
Yeah.
at a local supermarket. We bought
Oh,
100
wow.
pies, apple pie, pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
She's giving those away. And
Oh my
hey,
gosh, 100 pies?
Yeah.
And you're
it's a
giving
lot.
them away?
Yep, giving them away.
Well, that's really generous of you.
Yeah, these are things we do though monthly.
Wow.
Not the pie example, but
Yes.
different things.
Sure, sure.
But we do fun things to engage with the community, and it just makes people think for a second. Oh wait, who is my insurance with? Most people don't know, and if they do know, they don't really have a true relationship with their agent. And if we're like, hey,
Yeah.
if we could save you money, or even if not, let us review your coverages and just help you better understand.
Yes.
And if it's not today, maybe next year we'll be able to
Yes.
help you. So that's how we're really just building our
It's amazing.
clientele.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, like when we organize any type of like content marketing strategy for our clients, we try to tell them that the content we want to create is to help build a relationship. Because for me, this is how a sale works. Relationship creates a conversation.
Yeah.
The conversation is what creates the opportunity.
100%.
Right? And it's in that order. And when you rush it and try to like, I'm just going to write to the sale, is your conversion rates go down and becomes, people become very resistant.
Right.
You're not building any trust. There's no long-term value there.
Exactly.
And you are really fully invested in that.
And it's true. I tell a lot of people, we're not like, yes, we're selling insurance at the end of the day, but it's
Yeah.
really not about insurance. Like if you go on my Facebook page, we really don't even talk about insurance that much. We're
Yeah.
just talk about what's trending, what's going on with the community, how we could help.
Yeah.
Here's some cool promotion that we're doing right now. We're not talking about, well, here's what your auto liability
Yeah.
limits mean, because people don't care.
Yeah.
We want to, you first have to build the relationship and
Sure.
then build the trust.
Yes.
And then the rest comes easy, because even if we're $10 more maybe a month,
Yeah.
people aren't going to care because they want to give back to a local business owner.
Yeah.
Or on their worst day, they don't want to call 1-800 number and have to get
Sure.
transferred 5 times,
Yes.
telling their story over
Yeah.
and over again.
So you don't mind being that sort of available resource to the community?
Absolutely. No, I love it. In fact,
Huh.
I really do. And people, use me as because I'm so involved, people use
Yes.
me as a resource for anything.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
dance school, what pediatrician,
Right.
do you know
Listen,
how I
everyone wants to know someone like you. I'm going to be honest. Like everyone, like I need that person that knows anyone so that in a pinch, I can just call them and be like, Jen, who do I need?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. I love connecting people with
Yeah.
others, and especially even supporting other small businesses.
Yeah, yeah.
We're always trying to, give back local.
Sure.
If a small business is doing a promotion, we'll piggyback off
Hmm.
like, hey, visit our friends over here.
Wow.
So that's trying to like the message and story
Yes.
that we're trying to build together.
Community.
But it's really like building a brand.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, oh, by the way, we also sell insurance. So if we can help you with that,
Yes.
keep us in mind.
Yeah. It keeps that conversation flowing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm really happy for you that you
Thank
figured
you.
out sort of naturally through the process of my doing, and clearly through your background as well, that relationships are the most important element of business.
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Very, very cool. So, all right. So let's educate like our audience a little bit. When we think of insurance, I think people just think about car insurance
Yeah.
and life insurance, right? Could you outline to us maybe some types of insurance policies that would benefit someone that maybe they should consider?
Sure, absolutely. So yeah, most people think of State Farm just for auto insurance.
Right.
I always love when we get phone calls like, "Oh, do you guys sell auto insurance?" It's like, have you not turned on your TV,
Right.
radio, billboard? Because
Yes.
State Farm is everywhere.
Yes.
But we sell a number of multiple lines of insurance. Auto and home is really kind of the baseline. So we do auto insurance, homeowners, renters, umbrella policies are huge. That would
Yes.
probably be my one tidbit that everyone should really get.
Can you
an
educate
umbrella
them? I
policy.
know what it is, but can you tell them what's an umbrella policy?
Sure. So if you were in an accident and say, God forbid, somebody died or somebody, drowned in your pool, something significant.
Yeah.
So why you have insurance is because there's something called the liability limits. But the liability limits only covers the other person. It doesn't cover you. A lot of people think, oh, well, I have 500,000 liability, I'm set. No, it's for the other. It's for
Right.
the other party.
Right.
So if you're liable for any reason,
Yes.
it could even be for tripping someone in the supermarket and now they're disabled and
Yes.
can't work, slander. Anything that you're personally liable
Absolutely.
for, after your underlying insurance limits pay out, whether if it's on your auto or home in the state of New York, then you're personally responsible. So the person who's collecting or suing you
Right.
could come after what you own. So
Sure.
that could be your home, it could be
Right.
your business, and then they can come after what you earn.
And that happens if the damages exceed the policy limits.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So at that point, then the umbrella policy would kick in.
Mm-hmm.
Most people have about $1 million umbrella policy, and people think, "Wow, $1 million, that must be expensive." It's not.
Yeah.
It's about $30 a month, and
Yeah.
if something was to happen, it is the best, rest assurance to at least have a somewhat a
Of
better
course.
night's sleep, knowing if you have a possible lien on your house.
Yeah.
Because not only that, for State Farm, we also pick up the lawyer fees, the
Mm.
lawyers, the legal fees. So if anything traumatic was to happen, and if you don't have the umbrella policy in place, people aren't suing for $100,000, $200,000. They're starting at $1 million.
Yeah.
So it's really so important, especially because you're paying all this money through insurance because it's mandated by New York State.
Yeah.
And then at that day, if something tragic was to happen,
Yes.
nobody thinks it's going to happen to them, but it happens,
Yeah.
hundreds of times all throughout the day to all
Right.
different people who never planned that
Right.
this is what's going to happen today to me. If you don't have that policy in place at
Yes.
that time, and then if your insurance policy can't help, it really is the worst conversation to have
It
with
is.
somebody to say, hey, we reached your insurance,
Yeah.
now you're responsible.
Yeah.
I mean, the heartache and
Yeah.
heaviness that you walk around with, and it could be for years that
Yeah.
a lawsuit could go on.
No, it's true, and you're hitting on something that's very important because a lot of people will think, and I think why they get the minimal policy is it's not likely that I'll be in a situation where
Right.
I need to take advantage of that. The thing is, it's more often than you think, right?
Yep.
And plus, the benefits of being able to have the right policy is it's so important. It's worth you investing into that short period of time, even if you never need it. Because if you need it, it's
Exactly.
going to be a very difficult time. So, my family, we're in the legal business.
Okay.
And so we're in the personal injury space. So I very much know the value of insurance. I can't tell you how many people that we have spoken with that they come in, they were in a car accident, for example. It wasn't their fault, right? They had very serious injuries, multiple surgeries, and they can no longer work anymore.
Wow.
And both policies were $25,000.
Yeah.
So in this case, they come to us and they're like, but wait a minute, my life is over. I can't work anymore. I don't have a car anymore. I need another surgery. The medical expenses are hundreds of thousands of dollars. What am I supposed to do? Well, we try to tell them, this is why we tell people to get a better policy.
Right.
The right policy would have actually helped that individual. And what's crazy is the right policy, like you said before, is a couple dollars more.
Exactly.
It's not thousands.
No,
It's
because
a
this
couple
is
dollars.
something that could make or break your financial
Yes.
future. I mean, for a decade or two
Yeah.
decades, a bad accident.
Yes.
And of course, nobody expects it to happen,
Yep.
but that's the whole reason for insurance.
Right.
If something does, you need the right coverage in
Absolutely.
place. And the $20 a month, or even if it's $50 a month, the cost of going out, one extra meal,
Yeah.
put it to protecting
Yeah.
you and your family, because everybody now works so hard and
They
we
do.
have so many bills to pay.
Yeah.
You don't want, one bad accident to ruin your
Yeah.
future and, ability to provide an income and a nice
It's
life.
it's true. It's literally something that everyone that I talk to within the context of this conversation, I tell them, call your insurance agent immediately and make sure that you have the right policy. Increase your SUM levels.
Yeah.
You
That
have
was
to
the
do
other thing
that.
I was going to mention.
You have to increase your SUM. It's so important. It's a couple dollars a month.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guarantee you it's a minimal policy. I guarantee you, because that's what everyone has. And I tell everyone, everyone in the law firm, they educate as many people as they can. Call your insurance agent today. Don't wait. Call them today. Ask them what your SUM is and say, I want to increase it.
Exactly. Even something now, if somebody has lower, and the SUM is the supplemental underinsured motorist limit, so that actually is what protects you.
Right.
So again, the liability protects someone else. the sum limits protect you. So if you're in an accident, say with a hit and run,
Yes.
or somebody who has state minimum limits up to $50,000 per accident, and you have hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage, you could collect against your own policy.
Exactly.
So if you have higher supplemental underinsured motorists, say if you had 500,000,
Right.
then you know that that's protecting you and anyone in the car.
Yes.
So now if we write a new policy, and if they have lower supplemental underinsured motorists, we need them to sign a paper and putting that on file. But there are so many older policies, especially from that book of business that I took over, where their policy's set up so they're paying the other person 500,000, and for them they only have 25,000
Oh my
for
gosh.
themselves.
Oh my gosh.
And
wow.
it's, and sometimes people are, even it's a hard coin or hard thing to explain for someone to even pay $5 a month, and like, oh, I'm not sure. But if you're in that situation, and everybody knows somebody who's been in that situation.
Absolutely.
And if you asked any of them, nobody was planning on being in that. So, it's all life's curves.
No, it is.
Really
We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know, what's going to happen, next or whatever the case may be. But what we know is how we can protect ourselves in the event something happens. And like, to make it really personal for people, I'm a dad. I've got triplets. I know you're a multiple mom. I'm a triplet dad. I don't want the fate of taking care of my kids in the event of an accident to rely on whether or not the person who was responsible for the car accident had the right policy. I'm responsible for my family, and I'm going to do everything I can to protect them even in the event of an accident that I can't predict. So I'm going to get the maximum policy that I can afford. So in the event I'm in the accident, something happens, I can lean on my own policy. And that's something that most people don't realize, is that your own policy can actually protect you in a car accident.
Yeah. And your family too.
And your family too.
Everybody in the car. So that's huge. I mean, even you touched on a point for life insurance.
Yeah.
So many people, oh well, I'll be fine, or my wife will remarry. It's fine. It's like, okay, so today you're going to work and hustling, but if you don't make it home tonight, you don't care how the bills are getting paid for tomorrow.
Right.
Like, how does that work?
Prioritize people.
Exactly. And so I always recommend for people, life insurance. We see so many people, even out of the short 2 years of being a business owner, we've had about a dozen deaths within the agency. And some people, we see notes even trying to reach out to them also a dozen times, like, hey, you have to come in. Always make sure you have enough life insurance so that at least your mortgage is covered and at least 5 years of income protection. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, I have that through my work. But with the rising cost of health insurance, the unions and contracts, they're removing, or they're putting all these different fine lines in the life insurance that, it's only, or for police officers, it's only if you die on the job.
Right,
Or it
conditional.
Exactly. It's conditional life insurance. Or if we pay out disability, then you don't get that. So don't rely, like you were saying, don't rely on other people to protect and plan for your family. You have to have your own plan. Because you're not going to be here to fight for yourself.
Right.
And during such an emotional time, you want to make sure that at least the bills and your family is not going to have to move to a basement somewhere and worry about how is even college going to get paid now?
It's true. Like, and I want to be clear about something. Like, I didn't bring her on board because I wanted to help, do a sales pitch for her. Like, this is something that I'm genuinely passionate about, because I think it's such a very easy decision that families can make to protect themselves. And I think it's important. So this is not like a sales thing. This is actually something that's really helpful. And I'm glad that you are able to come in here and offer your level of expertise, because, people need to realize it's not expensive like they think. It is important, unlike what they think.
Right.
And these situations do in fact happen more than they think. So they really need to, really get together as a family and make sure you have the right insurance.
Right. And just have the conversation. That's what I just tell people. Like, really put that plan B in place. That 10-minute conversation with your husband after the kids are asleep. You never know when that's really going to have to come into force. But I call it adulting. Really, it's nothing. Insurance isn't fun. Nobody wants to talk about dying.
Right. But that's why they have people like you, though.
Exactly. And you need to have a plan in place. That's what
absolutely.
it's about.
Yeah. And also, don't assume that just because you have insurance, it's the right one.
Exactly.
I would literally after this show, like anyone watching or listening, literally get on the phone with your agent and have this conversation. And if you've never had a conversation with your agent, you need to switch, and you should probably call Jen, because it's having a really good advisor in your corner who is helping you with your insurance, someone who's accessible, someone that you could talk to. I'm telling you, from experience, it's really important to have that. Most people think like, no, I'm just going to call State Farm directly, right? And it's just going to be, I'm going to sign up and I'm never going to have to talk to them again. You know, actually having that open line of communication and constantly talking, I think is helpful.
Definitely, because also life changes.
Yes.
You know, besides even like
Yes.
curveballs, you know, you're depending, you might have young children now. Your
Right.
children are in college now. Your
Yes.
mortgage is paid
Share
down.
that information with you,
Different
and right?
things.
And couldn't you help?
Exactly. It's a continuous
Yes.
process and conversation.
Yes.
Because things are always changing. So yeah, super important. And you know,
Yeah.
like you said, not even sales pitch. Just
No.
take the 5-10 minutes
Yeah.
because it could be life changing to your financial future for your family.
Yeah, absolutely. So, by the way, I'm happy to be your poster child whenever you want. I can be very passionate about this subject, again, because of my background. You know, I've been in car accidents myself. You know, I've talked with a lot of people who have benefited from the right insurance. I've talked with a lot of people that have not benefited because they didn't have the right insurance.
Right.
So it's worth the phone call. And again, it's literally a couple dollars. People think like in order to get $1 million policy that I have to pay $1 million. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
At
It's
all.
funny, like I just picked up a latte and, you know,
Yeah.
it's $5, but you don't even think about it
Yeah.
because that's what I want. But
Yeah.
sometimes we'll try to tell people, you know, you need to really raise your limits and
Yes.
it's $5 more.
Like,
Let me think about it.
Right.
But it's like if someone's at a drive-through for coffee, would they be like, oh,
No.
maybe not?
No one would.
it's
Right,
not-
I
'cause
know.
You don't, because you want it at the time.
Yes.
It's just putting the right value on things.
It's true.
You
It's
know,
true.
so pop a Keurig, get the better insurance, and we'll
There you go.
talk.
That's a good little tip right there.
Exactly.
Let's explore a little bit some of the other like zillion things. We're not going to be able to get to everything because you're literally involved with so much. But you know, being involved with the community is clearly a really great strategy of yours. But it's not something that you're being strategic to just be selfish. I'm getting the sense that you're involved because you care about this community of Smithtown.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, I graduated from Smithtown High School. It's a place, of course, like everyone when you're in high school, like, oh, I'm never coming back here.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
right
yeah.
away went to the city and just
Sure.
slowly, I kind of kept creeping back, and
Yeah.
then here I am, and
Yeah.
not only back, but also as a business owner as well. But it really is such an amazing community, and a lot of the people who grew up here, like myself,
Yeah.
have come back as well,
Okay.
as it's a great place to raise your children.
Yeah.
But I think when you really extend yourself to help people, then people want to naturally help you, and that's what it's about. But it's great. It's a great town.
Yeah.
You know, even when we say Smithtown, like when I say Smithtown, I'm not just thinking Smithtown. You know, it's,
Yes.
it's St. James, it's
Sure.
Wisconsin, Kings Park, Comac, Hauppauge, all those surrounding areas. You know, it's just the suburban family.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
everybody's working so hard to provide for their children. You
Yeah.
know, looking to keep their children safe,
Sure.
happy, and entertained. And we're just trying to be a resource to,
Yeah.
you know, allow that to happen.
Yeah,
for the
it's amazing.
community.
You know, as big of a community that we have here in the town of Smithtown, that includes all those towns that you just mentioned, I really feel that it's one of those hidden gems on Long Island.
Definitely.
That, you know, this is, our Main Street is amazing and it's
Yeah.
alive and well. And I think it's actually growing. And, you know, it has people like you who's coming in and who is, you know, just doing so much for the community. You have an amazing business. I think that the restaurant district in this area, like I'm not gonna be honest. I'm never gonna go hungry. This place is amazing.
Yeah,
There's some
for
amazing
sure.
restaurants around here.
Absolutely.
And I feel like we've got some new, you know, restaurants or eateries, you know, opening up, you know, all the time. You know, right across the street,
Yep.
we have a brand new
Sweetwater.
right?
Actually, funny story how you never know how your past is going to connect.
Yes.
The last time I saw the owner, Jeff, who I just picked up my Sweetwater's
Yeah.
coffee from, we were in the kindergarten circus together.
You've got to be
Can
kidding.
you believe that? And he connected with me on Facebook,
Oh
and
my
I'm like,
gosh.
wait, who? And I'm like, yes, I remember you. And he's like, oh, I'm opening up a business in Smithtown. I'm like,
I have a
talk.
business in Smithtown.
Exactly. And so you really just never
Wow.
know.
Yeah.
And that's what the power of social media is.
Yes.
It was, you know, it allowed me to connect with people from all my different lives, whether
Yeah.
it was through activities my children went to or, you know, different things that I was involved in.
Yeah.
And people reach out from all different places. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, how do they know I even have an insurance agency? It's all through the power of social media.
Yep.
So we've really, that's been
You've embraced that.
our, yeah, totally embraced that. You know, I probably have, you know, prior to having the State Farm agency, I wasn't a big selfie person. I was like everyone, kids
Sure,
and food,
sure,
whatever.
sure.
Take
Yeah.
some nice pictures here and just
Yeah,
nice
of
pictures,
course.
posts, but people want to see you.
They do.
So, I mean, we do all sorts of crazy things. I
Yeah.
also get dressed up a lot. Something else that I never thought that I would that I would ever do. I think I stopped like wearing a Halloween outfit probably at the age of 12 because
Yeah.
that was too cool.
Right,
But
right,
I think
right.
I've worn more costumes in
your adult life
in
than-
the past 2
Yeah,
years.
yeah. So
Because-
what's the craziest thing you've dressed up as?
Oh my god, probably the Easter Bunny.
You did
so,
not.
So I was having a big Easter event, and
Okay.
I was trying to get the Easter Bunny, but it was like $300
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
whole day. And I'm like,
I'll put on the
I'm
suit.
a new business owner. I went on
Yeah.
Amazon. I got my $30 Easter Bunny outfit. It was like
And
I
you
was
were hopping
sweating
around?
and itchy, and it was horrible.
Oh
but,
my gosh.
But I will do it again because the kids have fun.
Okay,
But it's from
all right.
things like that. Like
Yeah.
even the people who came to that event, they may not be our customers now.
Yes.
But when people ask like, "Hey, I'm looking for insurance," on all the mom groups, which drives so much business.
It does.
My name's being posted constantly
Yeah.
because people are remembering.
Reputation
and
is
seeing
important.
Me from, exactly.
Yes.
So we get a lot of recommendations and referrals from people that we don't even do business with
Wow.
because we go out on a limb and do things like that.
Incredible. What's the next
Yeah.
crazy costume you're going to be wearing?
So the next one is
Yeah.
Elf on the Shelf. So I
Wow.
know that there's a ton of Santas everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a few Mrs. Claus, but there's not too many Elf on the
Yes.
Shelf.
No.
So
So are you going to be
yeah.
like strategically placing yourself all over the town?
Exactly. I actually thought of doing that. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I should
yeah.
go around like with like little.
If you see me, take a picture.
Exactly. Or like, guess where I am? Find me
Right,
today.
right. Wow.
No, but what we're doing actually, I put a post out there
Okay.
that we're going to be doing Elf on the Shelf house calls where we're
Oh, wow.
going around. We're doing 2 hours per town.
Okay.
I actually have someone coming to my office this weekend just to like strategically map out
Oh
like
my gosh.
with the order of houses because
Yes.
it's somewhat confusing.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're delivering personalized letters to the kids,
Oh,
little
wow.
elf dolls, and it's really just
Yeah.
to make it special.
Yes.
I have my State Farm logoed car. We're decorating the
Oh
car.
my gosh.
I'm gonna have my twin girls in the car also dressed up as little elves. So
Wow.
it'll be fun.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair, and that's one of the other
Yeah.
amazing things about being a small business owner.
Yeah.
Through my children, like
Yeah.
so, if I'm at a baseball,
Yeah,
soccer
yeah.
field, birthday party, I'm networking wherever I am.
Sure.
And through children, again, you already have that commonality of we're in the same class or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It's by the way, I'm an insurance agent. Who's your insurance with? We'll love to
Sure.
give you a quote. So I try to be involved in anything that my kids are doing.
Good.
So like my girls are on competition cheer, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna look to let's have a table.
Be bold.
I'm gonna be there anyway.
Right, you might as
Let's-
well.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
promote. So
Well,
that's
it's the
how
whole
I try to get
philosophy is
involved.
in order to be recommended, people have to know who you are
Yeah.
and know what you do. Otherwise, they
Exactly.
can't recommend you.
Right.
Yeah, so it's important. Be bold.
Yep. Definitely.
Wow.
So good stuff. It's fun.
You really enjoy what you do, don't you?
I absolutely do. Like I'm
Wow.
loving it. I can't. It's so nice to, especially now being a business owner. Like
Yeah.
for years and years, you're always on, looking on the job boards
Yes.
and this and
Yes.
what else? What could be the next thing? Could I
Right.
be doing something a little
Yeah,
bit different?
yeah.
But being a business owner, it's like, you know what? I'm never gonna have to look for a job again.
Yeah.
And when I want to focus on, maybe a certain way to grow my business or,
Yeah, yeah.
community or give back, you have
Sure.
the ability to do that.
Yeah.
But it's always never losing sight of, the growth of the agency and
Yes.
the growth of my team,
Yeah.
because their success is my success. So
Okay.
I have a training background as well. So we put
Wow.
a lot of time into training, developing,
Yeah.
and we're constantly growing. When you think that, all right, I'm fine, then, that's the point that you shoot yourself in the foot. You
Yeah.
always have to be going for the next level. Like,
Wow.
all right, guys, great.
Yes.
We made our goal, but guess what? Now,
Yeah.
now the goals are raised. So that's-
Congratulations, and we're back to
Yep,
work.
Exactly. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's good. I mean, life
Wow.
is good. I truly feel blessed to even be given such an amazing opportunity
Yeah.
as a State Farm agent. Because who would have ever thought that I would never think I would be an insurance agent ever.
Sure.
I've always had State Farm. Naturally, my parents had them for 30
Oh, okay.
years. So, got the bill, paid the bill,
Yeah,
but that was
that
the
was it.
extent of it. That
Yeah.
totally
You had
was
no
the
relationship
extent
with
of
State
it.
Farm.
Exactly. But yeah, I kind of was thrown
Yeah.
into it, got my
Wow.
licenses super quick, and decided to walk away from my job, which
Wow.
was a huge, big thing. I had,
Yeah.
a nice
Was that a little
salary.
scary? Can we talk about that for a little
yeah,
bit?
totally.
All right. So you're working another job,
Yeah.
right? You have your job. It's comfortable,
Yep.
right? Tell me about that moment of of making that decision from going to a place that was comfortable
Yeah.
to something brand new that you've never done that could be great?
Yeah, so scary. I really never did anything so bold ever.
Okay.
I mean, I'm definitely a planner. I like to see everything
Yes.
laid out and
Okay. A
laid
little
out,
OCD
black
maybe?
and white. Yes, I like everything. I'm very
Okay.
very detailed.
Okay.
All in the detail.
Yeah.
So kind of what happened was how even State Farm came about.
Yes.
They sent me a message on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I probably responded like 3 months later, something like, be your own boss. You get all this
Sure,
stuff
sure.
all day long.
Yep.
And I was actually stuck one day, thankfully, on the Long Island Railroad, the
Okay.
good old Long Island Railroad,
Yeah.
those commutes. And I started
Yeah.
responding to some messages.
Okay.
And from the time that I responded to their message, within
Yeah.
4 months, I left my job. But
Wow.
but not only in that 4-month time, I actually had to get licensed to interview. So here I was working in the cosmetic industry,
Okay.
or working 9 to 6, 9 to 7,
Yeah.
whatever my hours
Yeah,
were.
yeah.
And then at nighttime I was doing a 3-hour
Oh my
property
gosh.
and casualty class, and then I was taking
Wow, you
the
were
life
hustling.
accident health online. Because I was talking to other State Farm agents, and they're like, wow, if State Farm sees something in you, this is a golden opportunity.
Yeah.
Take it. So, I talked to dozens of other agents, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, so I'm going to put my everything into it.
Yeah.
So, we had a big business plan. It was kind
Okay.
of like being on Shark Tank. These opportunities don't come up very often.
Yes.
As far as, whether agency openings,
Uh-huh.
and then there's a lot of internal people who want the position, of course.
Sure.
So it's very competitive. So I put together a big, a 30-pager business plan.
Okay,
You
okay.
present it. They drill you on the
Wow,
numbers.
it's a really involved process.
Yeah, you have to pass all these personnel, all
Wow,
these
okay,
tests, and if you
okay.
fail any of them, you have to wait a year to reapply. So
Oh my
it's
gosh.
pretty strict. It's a pretty intense process.
So not just anyone can go through this process and become a State Farm agency owner.
no, there's many
Wow.
levels there.
Wow.
So anyway, so I'm like, you know what? If they offer to me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave my job. And I got the phone call that they were gonna offer to me. Everyone thought I was
In part,
crazy.
like, were you thinking like, I know you're saying if they give it to me, I'm gonna take it, but was there a part of you be like, but it's not gonna happen, so whatever?
Kinda.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I'm putting the time in with all these pre-licensing. I might
Yeah.
as well do a good job on my business
Right,
plan,
right,
type
okay.
of thing,
Sure, sure.
And yeah, I mean, I didn't know. I really had no idea if they were gonna. It wasn't like, I got this. I mean,
Okay.
I was waiting in a room
Yes.
with like 20 other people who were interviewing.
Okay,
I'm sure
I
they were all
gotcha.
polished and.
Yeah.
And a lot of them also had an insurance background. I'm
Yeah.
like, makeup, cool, let's talk. I'm like,
All right, so
yeah.
you get approved. What happened? Like, tell me.
Yeah, and
Tell me
I'm like-
what that emotion was
I
like.
remember, I'm like, oh my God, my husband's gonna kill me. That was my
Right,
first thing.
right.
And my parents are like, oh no.
Oh my gosh.
Don't let, they're like, you insurance?
Yeah.
It was kind of like when their reaction when I told them I was having twins, like, how could you have twins? You're so small. Like you can't have twins. And I'm like,
Right,
or how
right,
could
right.
you do insurance? Like,
Yeah.
you don't know insurance. Like,
Yeah.
I was originally gonna maybe jump to the fashion industry. And even that
Wow.
to me was such a big change. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm in the beauty industry. How could I
Wait,
do
if you thought that was a
fashion?
big change, this is
Exactly.
like, oh
So
my God,
that's
it's a
where my
different
whole
universe.
network is in the cosmetic
Yes.
industry. I know everyone.
Yeah,
How can I
yeah,
change
yeah.
industries?
Wow.
But yeah, so they offered it to me. I,
Oh my gosh.
refinanced, took a home equity on my home.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was walking into.
Yeah.
Really, no idea at all. It was just.
So you
a
must have been
black
really
tunnel.
nervous.
It was so nerve-wracking.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
100%.
All right, so so now you got the license, you made a decision, you told everyone. Everyone thinks you're crazy.
Yes.
And so you're going to open up your day one now.
Yeah.
Main Street, Smithtown, day one. You walk through the doors. What are you thinking?
I'm like, oh my God, I hope nobody calls or asks for anything.
Are you serious?
Exactly.
That's so funny.
I'm like, I'm calling to make a
Yeah.
payment, and I'm like, everything. I'm like
Yeah.
sweating out. Like, all right, we're having some technical difficulties.
yeah.
Can I call you back?
Sure.
So it was a lot of, can I call you back?
Oh, okay. I got to figure this all out really quickly. Crash course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Clicking every button. I remember even, so I
Yeah.
opened up January 1st, so we were
Okay.
technically closed that day, New Year's Day.
Sure.
And I remember I couldn't even get to, we have some really crazy systems at State Farm. I couldn't get to the next screen. So I
Oh
was
my
in the
gosh.
office for myself, literally playing like piano on the keyboard. I'm like pressing all the buttons.
Just
I'm like,
to work.
How do it was like a control weird thing that you had to
Yeah,
press.
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like, help.
Oh
but
my
luckily,
gosh.
we had the other
Yeah.
State Farm agents are
And you
all
figured it
very
out.
supportive. You reach out to
Okay.
people.
Yeah.
And just slowly we started figuring it out.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, I started talking the language of insurance. I'm like, where are these
Oh
words
my gosh.
even coming
Right,
from?
right. You
Like,
became fluent in insurance.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like learning a language
Yep.
overnight, and all of a sudden the words just start flowing, and it's like, wow.
Wow.
But it's truly been incredible.
Wow. What was that
Yeah.
moment, if there was one, where you're working, now you're the insurance agent, you have your place. What was that one moment? It's like, I made the right decision.
I think one moment. I think there's many mini moments
Okay.
to validate. But I think even seeing, so we started with a group of new agents also, and we were number one the first year out of everyone.
So you had brand new agents, and you were able to bring that team to number one?
Out of the new agents in the territory. I think
All right.
in the territory we ended maybe at
Time
5 out of like 35 agents.
Time out. I don't know if you're willing to give up some secrets. But
Yeah.
it could be even fluffy. I need to know though. Give me one secret. Give me one tip. How were you
Okay.
able to bring like people very green into a culture and very quickly get success out of it?
Hustle. Lots of hustle. So
Okay.
same thing, kind of like my workout mentality.
Yes.
I love crazy hard workouts.
Do you really?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
All about like the crazy boot camp stuff.
Really? You ever do like the sweat yoga or whatever it is?
Yeah, all that.
All
the
of that?
bars,
Oh my gosh,
that's
really?
all me. The more intense, the better. So I kind of coach my team
Wow.
the same exact way. So we
Okay.
coach on, I coach on lead measures. So every day, so we don't even really talk. Yes, we'll celebrate results, but we're really focused on the lead measure. So
Okay.
how many calls are you doing? How many
Yeah.
calls a day? How many quotes are you doing?
Yes.
How many times did you talk to people about life insurance? How many asks did you have? How many reviews did you get today? How many referrals? So everything's all about the lead measures, because if you're doing those things and
Yes.
you're doing them consecutively, the results come.
Okay.
There's one piece of advice I got from State Farm, again, not knowing what I was doing, and I was like, no, I'm not going to recreate it or think I know how to do it better. That with anything in sales, it's truly a numbers game. And they told me, for every 100 phone calls, you'll get maybe 10 people on the phone, and maybe 3 people will buy.
Right.
So if we need to sell 12 policies a day,
Yes.
my team each has to make 100 calls a day. And if they're not making it, it's like, all right, so how many calls did you do? How many quotes did you do?
Oh,
Are you
okay.
asking the
Numbers
right
don't
questions?
lie, right?
The numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
So it truly is numbers, and
Yeah.
that's how I based it on.
So can I come work for
Yeah.
you? Because I feel like I'd be a
Sure.
happier person. Like, I'm not even kidding.
We-
Amazing.
We have fun, and I'm always doing crazy things in my office. My team's like, "What are you doing now?" I'm like, "Oh,
Right,
don't
right,
worry."
right.
Like we have people come in,
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm here for the candy drop off,
Yeah,
the broad donation drop off."
It's not a surprise anymore.
No,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
team's like, "Wait, what?"
Oh my gosh.
So we're always full of surprises.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got a few questions that were submitted from our audience earlier.
Sure.
They knew that I was going to be interviewing you. Do you mind if I surprise you with a few of them?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So let's pull up some of these questions. They're not hard.
Okay.
Most of them are going to be probably business related. All right. So we've got, here we go. All right. Brandon submitted a question, and he asked, "What do your customers say about your brand?"
Brand, I think that we're fun. We're community first. And that I think we make it inviting. We make insurance inviting and relatable. Because again, we're doing it based off relationships. We're first getting to know them, and we're selling to their needs, not selling to what our needs are.
And he asked, same sort of part 2 of the question, would anyone say that they love your brand?
I would say so. I think the families that we've, of course, anytime we save people money, we're their instant
Well,
best
that's
friend.
true.
we're their hero for the day, especially when we're able to save people a lot of money. Like
Yes.
we've saved single individual households thousands of dollars.
Wow.
Especially business owners too. That's the
Yeah,
other thing. We
okay.
do work with a lot of small business owners.
Yeah.
Even contractors sometimes, where their policies just keep going up and up, or they have these broker fees, renewal fees,
Yeah.
and they're just so busy they don't get to look at the policy.
Yeah.
Or even having lower underlying limits and higher umbrella. Have a $5 million umbrella and lower
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
There's really a lot of creative ways, and when you're able to say, "Hey,
Yeah.
we're saving you $5,000, we're the hero."
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay. One more question.
Sure.
This comes from Kristen. She says, she asks, "Have you ever thought about quitting and what made you decide to keep going? That's a good one.
Oh yeah, no, I've definitely had some days, probably really just in my first year, where maybe I would pull my car over on the side of the road and cry.
Oh, really?
Because,
okay.
and it's also hard.
Yes.
Because now we have a steady customer base. When people call us, it's usually people aren't happy to call to pay a bill, tell us about an accident. Maybe they're having problems with the DMV. So a lot of people take their frustration out on us.
Yeah.
And I love helping people.
Okay.
So it's very hard when we can't either, whether they're not fully understanding the advice that we're giving, or listening, or getting very angry at us. So we take a lot of aggression on. We learn to kind of to deal with it in other ways.
Yes.
But it's a lot of phone calls. We have people who are not at us. It's just it's where we're governed by New York State insurance. There's certain rules. You don't pay your bill, you could have your license suspended, and etc. So those things are hard when we know that the insurance policy didn't provide what they wanted it to provide.
Okay.
But a lot of it's not the newer customers, because we make sure that everything's there.
Sure.
Because we took over a book of business. There could be someone that called, hey, I need a rental car. It's like, you don't have rental coverage.
Right.
For the extra $2 a month. But with new policies, everybody gets rental.
So you're doing
coverage.
A lot of educating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lot of educating.
Okay.
But it's definitely hard when you have someone that's angry, because you don't want people to be angry. And that's always what I tell anyone else on the other line. Like, listen, like the worst thing, I don't want you to be upset. Just hear me out. We have to work together. Like, I'm on your team. We're here. Like, we're gonna work through this together. But just people need to be open and listen, because when people are very angry calling, like in any business,
that happens
matter.
Everywhere.
Anywhere. So that's hard. But it's any business and same. But no, never really quitting. I think even when we've had some slower months than others, those are the months that you need to work harder and invest more. Yeah. Because, that slow month, if you're not continuing again with those lead measures of your daily activity, then your next month is going to be bad. Right. So, those sales slumps is like, all right, guys, well, this is a great opportunity to now make 200 calls and get out 30 quotes.
It's a balance. It's an opportunity of either working on your business or working the business.
Exactly.
So that's great.
And a great word, opportunity. Never a challenge. Everything's an opportunity to improve.
You know what? My wife and my family, I'm a very optimistic person. So I always tell everyone, like, I just need a drop in my glass, and I feel like I can do it.
Exactly.
But I feel like that should empower everyone, because that is the truth.
Yeah.
All you need is that little, a crack in the door, and something wonderful can happen from it.
Exactly. And the biggest thing I always coach my team too, you have to be willing to do things that people aren't willing to do. Yes. Because what they do, it's not easy, because if it was easy, everyone could do it. And everyone could do something for a little bit of a time, or give it their all for an hour or two of the day. But the people who could do it for 8 hours a day, but it comes from finding what motivates you, so if it's money, if it's time off, if it's a vacation, you have to find like what's going to get
your
that
why,
inner strength, your why. But
awesome.
It's definitely all about hard work, and anything's achievable.
Very cool. All right, last question. This is going to sound random, but I ask everyone at the end. What is a book that you read? It could be anything from Dr. Seuss to something a little bit more serious.
Okay.
Any book.
Okay.
Now you're a mom, so I'm guessing something that might come out here.
Let's see. A good book or a recent book anyway.
Sure.
Well, I'll just do one of the business books comes off top ahead. It's The 4 Disciplines of Execution. Okay. And that's the book really where I learned the coaching style of what they call the lead measures and the lag measures. So very similar, and always people could relate to dieting. So the lead measures, if you're not exercising and if you're not eating good food, the lag measures of your weight aren't going to show. Right, or your weight, weight loss isn't going to show. Sure. But if you're doing the lead measures, the lag measures are going to be there.
Makes sense.
No matter what you do, if you're not putting in, the time and, doing the right things to show the results, all of a sudden when it's the end of the month and your goal is to lose 5 pounds, you look back, say, hey, well, why didn't I lose the weight?
Right.
And then, you're like, oh, well, but I ate salad. But maybe you
Yeah.
only ate that for one meal. And, so
Right.
just, you have to
Right.
really be honest with yourself.
Yes.
And that's what it
Yes.
is. It's, breaking down your goals into, daily, weekly, quarterly, whatever. Just constantly just break and make it achievable. It's not like, always everyone relates to weight loss. Oh, I want to lose 20 pounds, but tomorrow we're in such an instant gratification society. It doesn't happen. You need to do the work.
Wow. Well, you are really a wealth of knowledge. So, if anyone has a question, whether it be about insurance, cosmetics, health, wellness, 501c3s, charity, you can literally probably help them with everyone.
100%. And I love helping. That's really
you're the human directory.
Exactly. And it really is my greatest satisfaction to help. I love helping others. And even for things that are unrelated. Yeah. We have a lot of people who even call my office for things that nothing to do with insurance and even some helping other business owners too. Okay. So I encourage everyone, go on my Facebook page, Jennifer Bryant, State Farm Agent. Like my page, you get a little bit of feel for who we are, how we go about business and just staying involved through community events.
Okay. So if anyone has a question about anything and they want to get in touch with you, can you right now plug yourself, tell them, again, who you are, where they can find you, all that contact information?
Sure. All right. Yep. So Jennifer O'Brien, State Farm Agency owner in Smithtown. And my website is www.insurewithjen.com. Phone number 631-724-0002. And email is jen@insurewithjen.com. So that's INSURE with Jen is 2 N's. So JENN @insurewithjen.com. So definitely reach out. Don't be a stranger. Or on Facebook as well. Always active. I have the addiction of my phone. So if you reach out to me, I will get back to you.
Awesome. Jen, thank you so much. Honestly.
You got it. My pleasure.
Such a pleasure having you in, and thank you for sharing your passion, your story. Absolutely. And I feel like I'm in the presence of a local celebrity. So it's really wonderful.
Thank you. I'm honored. No, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah,
and,
we're gonna have you back. Because clearly you can talk as an authority on many different subjects. So we're gonna explore this more.
Great. I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
So guys, thanks for tuning into this episode. Definitely follow Jen wherever she is. Yes. And if you want just a little dose of passion and inspiration, just follow her. And I feel like just her presence will inspire you. So all of her questions should go to her. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Remember, don't fear the process and don't fear grit. Take care, guys.